Hi, and welcome to Inside the Huddle. I'm Daily Review Sports Editor Jeff Stout here with Berwick first-year head coach Eric Holden. How you doing? Berwick, we're here at Berwick this week. Berwick hosts Abbeville in a Week 2 matchup. In Week 1, Berwick defeated Morgan City 27-21. Coach, talk about that Week 1 matchup. Obviously get a win in your first, in your head coaching debut at Berwick, and always good because you bounced back from a 14-0 defeat in the Jamboree.
Yeah, well, the Jamboree, we held a little back, because we knew we had to see them again week 1. But we didn't hold the blocking back. We just weren't getting it done in the Jamboree. So we came back home, went back to the lab, made some corrections, polished up a couple things, worked on some basic fundamental techniques that we had to fix. And then we challenged the guys. We said, look, man, we really want this group to be our starting offensive line. We're giving you one more shot to get it right, and if you don't get it right, we're going to start piecemealing the thing together, and we're going to find another group. And that motivated them, and they rose to the challenge, and we had a great night Friday night. Both teams, I thought, were extremely competitive. Coach Tragle did a great job. My guys came out and just worked from the time of kickoff till there were zeros across the board, and I couldn't be prouder. Great win for us. We played up in classification, so we did a great job. I was proud of my boys.
Obviously you got Abbeville this week. The game is obviously the forefront this Friday, but a secondary part of this game that a lot of people might not know is Abbeville lost their head coach this weekend. Coach Gary Atkins passed away after a long illness. Can you just talk a little bit about, you talked to me earlier a little bit about how you knew Coach Atkins. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Gary had come and worked with us at Terre High for a short period of time, and that's when I got to know him, got to meet him. Subsequently, when he left and took the St. Martinville job, he had offered me the defensive coordinator position there. I had to gracefully decline. I wanted to stay with my daughter in Baton Rouge. Coach Atkins has always been very kind to me and has always looked out for me. He's always treated me great. So, I have nothing but great things to say about him, and he'll be missed.
Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Atkins' family and the Abbeville community. Now, the secondary part of this, but obviously the forefront of Friday night. Talk a little bit about Abbeville. They lost in Week 1 to Kaplan 32-6. I heard on in that first half they pretty much dominated, just didn't get on the scoreboard. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen of them on offense? And
Abbeville they're big, they're strong, they're mobile, well coached, as you can tell. Coach Gary's influence is there, and you can see it. And they're just a powerful team on the offense and defense side of the ball. They've got athletes everywhere. We've really got to be on our P's and Q's, man, to get this done. Of course, once again, we're playing up in classification, so we have an opportunity to really make a statement. But we're going to have to play a near perfect game to get it done. They're talented and well coached.
Seems like the quarterback really makes the offense go.
Oh man, that quarterback's impressive, man. He's got a rocket for an arm. He's got great feet. Their offensive line is strong and powerful, extremely mobile. The defense, which they run multiple defenses, they'll start off in a 3-4, and they'll morph into a 4-2-5. They're just a talented group of guys, man, and they're well coached. I'm just hoping we go out there and we can represent for our school.
Mm-hmm. All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Berwick is led by junior quarterback Colin Louvier. He threw for 181 yards and 3 touchdowns with 2 interceptions a week ago, and he rushed 5 times for 26 yards. He's obviously a very mobile quarterback. Sophomore Josh Jones led the run game with 99 yards and a touchdown. Junior Keenan Jones, who holds an LSU offer, led the Berwick receivers with 115 yards and a touchdown. And another junior, Josh Carver, caught 1 pass, but it was for 88 yards and a touchdown, so pretty efficient there. The first game of the week to kick off the weekend will be Thursday night between Central Catholic and Opelousas Catholic. Opelousas Catholic comes into the game after defeating Port Barre a week ago 34-0, while Central Catholic defeated St. John 30-0. Some familiarity between Opelousas Catholic and Central Catholic besides playing a year ago. Opelousas Catholic's coach, Thomas David, coached for Central Catholic coach Tommy Minton when Tommy Minton was at Plaquemine High. He was his defensive coordinator. And then he went with him and he coached at Patterson High. All told, Coach David has 13 years experience with Coach Minton as an assistant to Coach Minton. Opelousas Catholic on offense is different from a year ago. They've switched to a spread offense, which Coach Minton said is Coach David's his philosophy. They're led by quarterback Sam Jarrell, who a week ago tossed for 101 yards and threw an interception, but he also rushed 18 times for 44 yards and had 3 touchdowns. So obviously pretty efficient there for 44 yards with 3 touchdowns. Over there, another guy that stands out for them on offense is their H-back, Adam Purser. He stands 6 feet 4 inches and weighs 230 pounds. And last week he had 2 receptions for 60 yards. Central Catholic, meanwhile, defeated, as I said, St. John of Plaquemine. The Eagles got 3 touchdowns rushing from Chris Singleton, who had 85 yards rushing, but he wasn't even the game's leading carrier. That belonged to senior Bailey Batto, who had 113 yards. Unfortunately, no touchdowns. He had 1 touchdown, actually, but it got called back by penalty. Quarterback Blake Byrne completed 1 of 5 passes for 44 yards, and that 1 reception, 44 yards, went to senior Greg Leger. Meanwhile, in Patterson, the Lumberjacks are looking to bounce back from an 0-1 start after falling to Central Lafourche. In the game that Patterson led 12-0, unfortunately, Central Lafourche came back with 22 points in the second half. Patterson was led in that game by quarterback Dylan Gindeloni. He had 87 yards rushing and 125 yards passing with a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Another offensive threat for the Lumberjacks is Dejon Richard, who had 57 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jordan Butler led the Lumberjack receivers with 4 receptions for 85 yards and a score. Defensively, though, Patterson only surrendered 245 yards of offense to Central Lafourche of Class 5A school. Patterson's Class 3A, of course. And obviously, Central Lafourche had quite a bit more players. In fact, just sophomores through seniors, they dress out 80 plus. Whereas Patterson is much less from grades freshman through senior. Of those 245 yards that Patterson surrenders to Central Lafourche, only 69 of those were rushing. This week they'll face their second class 5A opponent, Hahnville. Hahnville is a very athletic team with good size, Coach Dantzler said, which Coach Dantzler, who came from Class 6A, Oklahoma, Booker T. Washington in Oklahoma, so he's used to seeing big competition in big schools. He said the games like this will get his team prepared for District 838 play down the road. A week ago, Hahnville defeated Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 41-20. In the final game this weekend, which is another home game, Morgan City will face Sophie B. Wright. Sophie B. Wright did not play in Week 1. Their last action was in the Jamboree when they lost to Lake Area New Tech 16-0. Both Lake Area New Tech and Sophie B. Wright, of course, are New Orleans area schools. Morgan City, meanwhile, is coming off a 27-21 loss to Berwick. Morgan City was led in that game by Ethan Ciano on the ground with 56 yards rushing, while Isaiah Escort, making his first varsity start, completed 7 of 16 passes for 120 yards with a touchdown and 3 interceptions. Kaylin Hillen had a huge game for the Tigers receivers with 5 catches for 121 yards and a touchdown. Sophie B. Wright currently has an 8-game losing streak. And that team only has just 24 players on their rosters. They finished 2015 season with a 1-8 mark, falling in their final 8 games of the season after defeating Crescent City Baptist in their opener. Included in that was a 6-0 loss to Morgan City, which actually defensively was a great game, but offensively, no. So that's another edition of Inside the Huddle. Thanks for watching.